Here we are with Leon from Karaka Stud. He is the stud manager and has dealt with David Ellis, no doubt, many times throughout the years. Leon, David's impact on not only Karaka Stud, but the New Zealand bloodstock Karaka Sales. Can you put it into words or quantify it?
Well, I think the great thing about Te Akau is we've had an association with them for a long time, and to say that they've evolved is an understatement. They've grown, examined themselves, they've pushed boundaries, they've reached new heights. I mean, their business, like every business, has multifacets to it. So obviously they can't buy the horses unless they've done the marketing and they've attracted the owners. You won't attract those owners unless you produce results for them. And I think we've seen that they have just gone from strength to strength in that area. And if you look at it statistically, they're producing an incredibly high quality horse. But the likes of Melody Bell, Advantage, they're having very, very long, fruitful, productive careers. And as a breeder, that's what you want to see.
How important is it for you to send horses there as well as an operation to be trained and to maintain that relationship with Te Akau in a racing capacity?
Well, at the end of the day, Te Akau, Jamie Rich is the best trainer in the country by record. Now, a lot of trainers might disagree, but he's got the best record. But the advantage he's also got is he's got the best jockeys around him as well, which helps on race day. The reason why we send horses to Jamie or Te Akau to train is because his record speaks for itself. Now, we were lucky enough that we were under bidder on the proper bill at the sales and approached David straight after, and he sold us the horse. He could have very easily said no, but he was smart enough to say, you know what, if I sell Brit and Joe this horse, I can train it and I can start building a relationship. And you know, from there we've also he bought Carmel S for us. Henry and David picked it out, but you know, now another Group 1 winner. So great relationship and great people to do business with.
Here I am with Joe Wills, Chairman of New Zealand Bloodstock, and has a close working relationship with David Ellis as we try to find out Te Akau's impact on these hallowed turfs. Joe, you would understand more than most how much time and effort David and Te Akau actually put into these sales, because what happens in the ring, that's not at all, is it? There's a lot of context that goes in.
Yeah, well, I guess for David, it starts way back when the catalogue comes out in late November, and then we hit the road and we go to every place in New Zealand, although I've got to admit we didn't quite get round everyone this year because the sale was a bit more tight in terms of dates. But we do visit everyone who's got a yearling in the main book, and we make a list up from that point, and we have input from Jamie, and this year we had input from Marcus Corbin. So you get a list of probably 100 horses that you'd like to see again at the sales. And from there on, of course, the real work comes in, because you've got to get them vetted, the ones you really like. And then, of course, you have to make sure that everyone is happy with the horses that have been chosen. It's a bit of a committee. So really, there's a hell of a lot of work that goes in. And I'm sure most people in the business would recognise it. They see a lot of David through those month or two.
Rodney, I've been going around trying to find out from people how important and how imperative it is to have David Ellis and Te Akau on this complex at this time of year doing what they do best, which is buying horses. From your perspective, DC is much, much important for this industry?
Oh, he's absolutely crucial, you know. He holds the sale up every year nearly by himself sometimes, so he does a fantastic job, and not only with the horses but with the people that he employs. You know, look at Jamie Richards, he's now become one of the top trainers in the world, and DC's always been good with horses and people.
Here I am with the future of New Zealand racing, of the same family, a very, very great and I guess integral family to New Zealand racing. It is the Chittocks. George and Charlotte are with me. Just trying to find out from them, as young people, David Ellis and Te Akau on this complex where you guys have pretty much grown up, how important is he and what does he mean to New Zealand racing and New Zealand bloodstock? I'll start with you, Charlotte.
He's very important to New Zealand racing because he buys heaps of horses through Karaka, so supports the nation, and wins heaps of races over in Australia, so he can represent us over there too.
And he's been a great supporter of Waikato Stud throughout the years, hasn't he, George? What does he mean to your old man, his old man, and yourself and this whole family?
Well, to be honest, DC and the whole Te Akau family are part of the Waikato Stud family. We absolutely love them to bits, and they've treated us very well over the years. And yeah, honestly, I couldn't see New Zealand racing without David and Jamie Richards and Te Akau.
When David Ellis, DC, gets into the ring to buy for Te Akau, you will have a unique perspective on this because you're the man that's asking him to keep going, and quite often he does if he likes the horse. You've seen him throughout the years. If you had a few words to describe him?
Unstoppable. And once he gets his mind on something and he wants it, that's it. And you would have seen over the last few days there's not many can stop him when he likes a good horse, but they pick them out. They do a lot of hard work finding those horses, and when you do all the hard yards with all the people behind the scenes, you're not going to go in the sale ring and be weak. You've got to be strong.
Give us some nuances of him. When he's in there, when he's working and he's doing his thing, what are some of the things that he does that are different to any other buyer?
Well, he normally sits there, and as the horse gets dearer and dearer, he can get a little bit red-faced, and he winks at you, and he doesn't stop going, and he'll try and save $5,000 or $2,500 at the end of a huge big sale, and he just likes to make sure that even though he might be the top priced horse, he's not just flying the money out of his pocket. He's always very careful in that regard. He's probably the first bidder that will try and cut us back and make us, take a $5,000 bid when we should be taking 20s.